Check 1, 2. Hey. Oh. So sorry for the silence, but I'm trying to get hold of us via chat to see if we are up and running. Give me a second. If you are watching live and you can hear me, please leave a message. Oh, yes. Hi, Foss. Thank you. Just saw your message. Perfect. Phew. Man, I'm sorry. Like, it's been a while since I've done a live stream, and for some reason, it really gave me a hard time with the microphone. And I also had to reinstall everything. I thought I had it right, but apparently not. So, but I'm glad we're live now, and you can hear me. So let's get started. Um, okay, at first, the usual risk disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I say is here for education purposes only and for entertainment. If you incur losses doing anything I'm saying here, that's not my responsibility. That's up to you. It's just the usual risk disclaimer. Alrighty, so let's get started. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, so first of all, it's been quite a while since I was here on YouTube. Um, so let me recap what happened. I did kind of recluse myself and isolate myself because I really wanted to get this challenge done. And the last challenge that you were following here on YouTube, I failed that one as well. So I had to kind of like take a recess and reevaluate what I was doing. And I changed my trading plan rules a little bit. I changed my template a little bit. And in general, I was just thinking of ways how I can improve what I had because I knew I had something in my hands, but the way I was using it was not working for me. And also, for some reason, I'm too stupid to follow my own rules. So I had to learn that. And I did then, after evaluating everything and changing my trading plan, another free trial. This time I passed again. So I signed up for another 50K challenge and I did pass that one. After passing the 50K challenge, that was with my Forex funds, by the way. That's why the screen is up at the moment. I thought, let me start with that company because they only require 8% instead of 10%. So it's a little bit easier. They're also a little bit cheaper. And they have quite a reputation by now. If you go on trustpilot.com, they have really good reviews and plenty of them saying that they're paying out, which is always one of my fears because there's so many prop firms right now. And you just never know. They pop up everywhere, and you never know if it's a scam or not. I know there was another prop firm not too long ago that went belly up and stopped paying their traders and whatnot. So I was a little skeptical, and that was also a reason why I tried to start with FTMO. And I'm just gonna leave this window open here for the chat because I want to see if you guys say anything here. Sorry, I only have one screen at the moment because I have two computers here. I'm transitioning from my old computer to my new computer still. Usually have this window here on the second screen, but I don't have that available right now. Yeah, anyways, FTMO has a good reputation, so that's also a reason why I wanted to start with them. But then changed plans. I was like, you know what, let me just get this funded account with my Forex funds. They seem to be a good company, and I was not disappointed. I passed the challenge, got my 50K account, and they were paying out. The first month was a little rocky. For some reason, I was able to pass the challenge with flying colors, and then I guess I got a little cocky again, and I was like, okay, I got my funded account, I can do this. And then I struggled for my first month with the funded account to actually to a point where I almost lost that account again. And again, I had to recess, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? I was talking to myself. I'm like, you got the funded account, you know how to do it, you got a trading plan, you got your rules, follow your own damn rules. So I did, and finally got back into the positive, and that was right on the 30-day mark of the first month, which is usually the first payout. So my first payout was only basically my fee that I paid for the challenge, plus I was like $200 in profit. So it was not a great first month, I can say that. But I got through it. I got my shit together basically, and the second payout period, which is now 14 days. So after 30 days on the first payout, they switched to a 14-day payout. You don't have to take it, but you are able to request a payout every 14 days if you want to. So the second period, so to speak, I improved and I really followed my trading plan while also signing up for a 100K challenge at the same time. And I was trading both at the same time. So I was very laser focused on that one, and I really followed my rules to the T. I did not stray away. And I passed my 100K challenge within 2 weeks with that method and my strategy, and also made almost 15% on my 50K account for a payout, which was not bad. After profit split, I got a payout of, I don't know, let me, this is my deal account, by the way. Yeah, you can see here let me go in here. The first payout that I got was only $680. That's basically the fee that I paid for the challenge, plus a little bit of profit, plus a little bit of bonus that they give you on top. So it was not great, but I used that money to sign up for the 100K challenge. And then I was able to make almost 15% on my account. You can see here, this is my second payout period. That was on September 30th, so just last week. And after profit split, I still got over 11% paid out on my 50K account. So it did work really well. And the best thing is I only use 0.5% risk. So it's perfect for a prop firm challenge. A lot of people say, oh, 1% risk, maybe for a prop firm challenge is only 0.5% risk. Well, I only use 0.25% risk. And I was able to pull this off because of my strategy. So I'm very proud of that. Let me just go back here. Okay. Actually, I think there's a feature I can use. Give me a second. Let me do that. Let me do that. There you go. Just keep that. I'm on Windows 11 now, by the way. So, okay. That's good. So now I got the chat room up here. So yeah, anyway, so I got the payout. It's already, it reached my deal account, as you can see, and it's now transferred to my bank account. It should be coming in next week at some point. My plan is to, going forward, to build a portfolio of prop firm accounts and max them out. So I'm gonna use this money to sign up for another $450,000 worth of challenges with my Forex funds. which will max out the allocation that I can have with them, which is 600,000. And I'm also gonna sign up simultaneously for 400,000 on the FTMO at FTMO. Yeah. So hopefully by the end of October, I should be funded with $1 million. That's my goal for the next month. I'm not gonna stop there. Um, yeah, you can see here I have 150,000 right now, so that means I need 450,000 to max it out, and that's basically a 50K challenge, a 100K challenge, and the 300K challenge. And all in all, that's, let me see, 299 plus 499 plus 1389. So I'm gonna use 2,187 of my payout to max that out, and then I'm gonna go for the FTMO 200K swing account times two. The reason why I'm going for the swing account, even though it has lower leverage, I think the leverage is only 1 to 30 instead of 1 to 100, is because you're not subject to their news rule. So you're not allowed to trade through news with FTMO. And if I have several accounts connected to I use a trade copier. I do check the news, but sometimes you just get that set up because it's right around that news event, which is not untypical because they use the news to manipulate the market and push it in one direction. That protects me basically from violating the no news trading rule if I use the swing account. And for me, the way I trade, like I said, I only use a 0.25% risk per position. So 1 to 30 is plenty of leverage for me. So I'm going to go for 200,000 accounts with FTMO, but I'm going to sign up for the swing account, not their regular account, which protects me from that. And everything will be connected to my 50K account that I'm using right now. So I'm only basically seeing the 50K account and the positions and the P&L on that one, hoping that will help my psychology, because I noticed that every time I go up a little bit in capital and have high lot sizes, I get more emotional. And it's just a psychological thing with me. I bet other people have experienced the same thing. So my plan going forward is I'm going to have 3 accounts with my Forex funds, which is one 300K account, one 250,000 account, and I'm going to keep the 50,000 account that I have separate, just for that reason, to have that psychological level that I can handle right now. I'm used to trading the 50K account. I don't want to see higher numbers. And then I'm also going to connect it to 200,000 accounts with FTMO to that trade copier. And again, everything is centralized around the 50K account, if that makes sense. So that's my plan going forward. And FTMO charges, where is it? Here, 1,080 euros, which is roughly 1 to 1 to the dollar right now. So that would be 2,060 plus 2,060. So as soon as I get my payout, I'm going to sign up for all of these challenges at once and hopefully pass them in October. FTMO I might not be able to do it all in October because they require 10 trading days for each phase. But we have 20 trading days, and I usually reach my profit target way before that. So I might be able to pull it off and finish FTMO by the end of October. And then, yeah, that would be $1 million funded with the difference between my payout and all the fees that I have to pay for the next challenges is going in my account. I'm going to reward myself a little bit too. But my next payout, which again, I'm on a two-week payout routine now, I'm going to sign up for E8 funding and do their 250K account challenge. They only allow you one account. So I'm going to go for the 250 one. And I'm also gonna go for the elevated account that they offer for 100,000. It's a little bit more expensive, but the scaling plan is very interesting because if you make 16% or more in 1 month, they give you $100,000 more the next month, which I'm usually right around 20 to 25% on the month. So I should be able to actually get that 100K increase every month up to $1 million. So this is going to be my next step. But for now, like I said, I'm just going to concentrate on my Forex fund to max that out to 600K and also get the FTM over with at the same time. That is my plan for October. And then with my next payout, which should be mid-October, I'm going to sign up for E8 funding and get those two accounts, the regular 250K account and also the Elevate account for 100K. That will be would be awesome to scale it up within 10 months to $1 million, to add that to my portfolio basically. So that's my plan going forward. Excuse me. I'm not really awake yet. I'm still drinking coffee. So after that, this is not the end. My end goal would be to be funded with $4 million before scaling. I'm just not quite sure what other prop firms to use. There's one, which, no, this is not it. That's not it. I'm sorry. The funded trader. Yeah, this is another one that I'm eyeing. This is a relatively new prop firm, the funded trader. However, I follow a younger guy on YouTube that is reviewing prop firms. I forgot the channel name, but you probably heard of him. He looks very dorky, young kid, but he's really good at what he's doing. He knows how to trade, and he does a lot of prop firm reviews. And he's somehow involved in the funded trader. He's part owner, as I understand. And I do like him. I do trust him. He seems like a nice guy, an honest guy. And they also have already 2,750 reviews on Trustpilot. So I think this is the next one that I'm gonna attack after E8 funding. But like I said, that's in the future. I'm still haven't made up my mind yet. But this is definitely a strong candidate. So yeah, my plan is again building this up to maxed out, which is 600,000. Then max out FTMO with 400,000. And then max out E8 with the elevated account for 100K and the regular 250K account, which also has a pretty interesting scaling model. So the scaling, from what I understand, on E8 works in a way that whatever you have profit at the end of the month, they pay you out 80% of that, and then they add that profit that they took out of the account back into your account. So let's say we have a 250,000 account, you make 20%, that's 50,000. So you get a $50,000 payout, and then you start the next month with 300,000 because they leave whatever you made in profit basically in the account as a scaling. So that's a kind of interesting scaling model that I never heard of before. But they seem to be legit. They have a lot of traders already getting payouts. So that's the next one on my list. But this is going to start with my next payout from my 50K account. So that by mid-October, hopefully. If I make money, that is. No, but like I said, I have a pretty good routine now. I was trading flawlessly on the 100K challenge, flawlessly, and passed that thing with flying colors in 2 weeks, phase 1 and phase 2. So that was perfect trading. I see that it works, and all I have to do is follow my rules. So that's also the reason why I wrote everything down again, made a trading plan with the changed rules that I have and everything. And my plan going forward is to read that trading plan every morning before the London session when I start trading. I'm going to read through my trading plan to remind myself of all the rules, and I will not violate those rules. For some reason, I always had a hard time with taking a loss. it's the stubbornness in me. I'm German, so it's kind of like I don't want to lose. So I started to tend to just remove the stop loss and not use the stop loss, and thinking, no, no, I was right. It's gonna turn around. There was a perfect signal, and yada yada yada. Well, the market teaches you otherwise and punishes you really hard for mistakes. So I had to learn that the hard way. I learned my lesson, and I'm following my rules now. I use a fixed stop loss. I'm not moving it. I'm not deleting it. I'm not adding positions. I have a trading plan where I can scale in one position, but with the same stop loss, and that's it. So I'm not um, deviating from my trading plan anymore. And when I did that, like I said, I passed the 100K challenge in 2 weeks from start to finish. So it showed me that it works, and I'm gonna stick to it now. Um, anyway, so that's my plan going forward. I will start doing live sessions again. The reasons why I just disappeared was I had to focus on myself, get my emotions in check, work on my strategy, get it right, and just get a routine in trading the plan. And I think I'm at that level now where I can follow my own rules and my own trading plan. And it's become a routine. It's more mechanical now. It's not as emotional anymore. And I feel like I'm in a state of mind psychologically where I can start live streaming again, and it won't bother me or influence me in any way. I'm just strictly stubborn as I am, follow my plan, and that's it. So let's go over the actual template. So this is my MT4. I watch 4 pairs: Euro USD, GBP USD, Gold, and GBP AUD. Those are the 4 pairs that I'm watching. Usually between all 4 of them, I get at least 1 or 2 setups a day. Sometimes I get a setup on all 4 of them. Um, so that's nice. And usually when I finished, whenever I finish a trade and I'm up over a percent, I might just close the rest out and call it a day. That's what I did for the 2 weeks where I did my challenge. However, this time around, I actually want to follow my plan because I did leave a lot of money on the table. And let me explain something here. So this is gold. So I did get this entry. Just FYI, the blue zone is Tokyo session. Actually, it overlaps with London for 1 hour, but I like it separated. It looks cleaner. But technically, Tokyo is actually 1 hour into London session here. And then the gray box is the London session. That's my main trading window. I actually start 1 hour before London session, so this is actually not London session either. London session starts an hour later here. But 2 a.m. is where I settled to start looking at the chart. It used to be 1 a.m., but I noticed that usually nothing happens before 3 a.m. Sometimes you get a setup at 2 a.m. Very rarely do you get a setup at 1 a.m. So I decided to just move my trading time an hour forward to 2 a.m. I might miss a trade here and there on certain days, but that's fine. I'm okay with it. Then I just don't trade that day or wait for another setup, see how it goes, if I can stay up that long, whatever. But I settled on 2 a.m. That seems like a good middle of the road for me. But honestly, 80% of the setups actually happen right around 3 when London session opens. So if you want to make it 3 a.m. to save yourself an hour, and you should be okay. Just keep in mind that you might miss the trade. Don't chase it. No. Anyway, here, this was last week, and this was the last day of my challenge when I passed. I took a trade on gold here, and no, I'm sorry, that was my first trading day after I passed. So when I got my 100K account and my 50K account, and I was trading both of them for the first time. I apologize. And I took a trade on gold here, and when price hits here, because I was in trades with the other pairs as well, GBP USD, Euro USD, I think I had a trade going on all of them except GBP AUD. Yeah, I didn't have a trade on GBP AUD, but GBP USD, I had a trade going. Gold, I had a trade going, and Euro USD had a trade going. So I was in three pairs at the same time. And just showing you, when price was here on Euro USD, when price was right around here on gold, and when price was right around here on GBP USD, I was up 3K on my account. Oh, both accounts. So I was up 2,200 on my 100K account, and I was up over 1,000 on my 50K account. So overall 3,200 something. And I'm happy if I make 1% a day. That's plenty. So now I happen to be in a situation where I was up 2%, over 2%. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to take the money and run. That's a good day. 3K in one day. Yeah, I take it. And I closed my trade, and I was happy. I even posted something in Telegram, I think, that I just made 3,200 bucks. But look at how much money I left on the table. All the way up to here. So from I think my entry was right around here somewhere. From here to here, between my both accounts, was 3,200. And then look how much money I left on the table. This could have been easily a 15 to 20K day on a $150,000 account. So we're talking over 10% in one day. So I was like, all right, I gotta follow my plan, because my plan actually would keep me in the trade all the way up to here. So see how much I left on the table there? That's crazy. Or at least here. I mean, that's still a good way to go. And I explained that when I go with a trading plan. Anyway, so this week going forward, and I'm doing a live session on Monday, I will follow my trading plan to where to exit, also exactly to the T, and not take profit when I'm happy with 1%. So it's going to be an interesting week. The 2 weeks prior, where I made 14% of my account, all in all, I actually usually closed out when I was over 1% on the account every day. Sometimes I let it run a little bit further when it was obvious and not too choppy. That's why I made a little bit more than 10%. I made almost 15%. But I kind of had a routine where I just closed out my trade at 1% and call it a day. Just get this live stream back. And this week, I'm actually going to follow my own trading plan and write it out all the way to the profit targets that I have determined in my trading plan. Actually, let's open this one real quick. Let me get my trading plan up. Give me a second. Documents. Trading rules. Here we go. So this is my trading rules that I put together over the weekend. And I want to emphasize that even if it might sound silly to you, every single rule in there has a reason behind it. There's not one rule in there that is just in there for fun or to make it look better or whatever. They all have a reasoning behind it. And that comes from trading the system for over a year now and adjusting and fine-tuning and changing settings, changing rules. Every single rule in here is in there for a reason. So please, if you do follow that strategy, you really, really, and I'm saying again, really need to follow those rules to the T. Don't stray from it. Don't think you know better, whatever. I mean, you might, I don't know, and you might come up with better rules and a better idea. And please, if you do so, let me know. I'm fully open to that, you know. But every single rule that I have in here is in there for a reason. So please make sure that you follow all the rules in there. Okay, so let's go over them. Rule number one: follow the rules. Simple. Very simple. Just follow the rules. They're here for a reason. And again, this is something that I'm going to read to myself every morning before I start trading to make sure that I don't stray from my rules. I'm going to read that until it's branded in my brain. Number two, check for high impact news. Don't trade pairs that have high impact news during London session. Period. If they have news in New York, you can trade it. But if they have any news during London session, do not trade that pair that day. It's okay to sit on your hands for a day and come back the next day. There's nothing lost. You have plenty of opportunity to make good profits in the market. So if you have a day where, like I said, let's say in this case, there's a lot of high impact news on the US dollar, well, guess what? I'm sitting on my hands. I'm not even trading that day. And usually, when news affect the dollar, even GBP AUD is affected by it, I noticed. So they even use that for manipulation of other pairs that are not even related to the news. So do yourself a favor if you do see a red folder, that's what they call it, high impact news, on the dollar or on any of the other ones, GBP or the euro or whatever, do not trade that pair that day. And if it happened to be USD and you have and you trade the same pairs that I trade, then you just don't trade. Just walk away for the day, take the day off, come back the next day. Very important. Okay, rule number three, general rule number three, trading time. Only, and it's in big capital. Let me make this a little bigger. Hold on. View. Yeah, I can make the font a little bigger. This should be okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, only take trades between 2 a.m. and 11 a.m., which is end of London session. So 1 hour before London session, you're allowed to take a trade up until the end of London session. That's it. That's your only window. Do not trade outside of that time window, ever. Now, you can adjust the session indicator to New York session if you want to. All you have to do is change the settings of the indicator to show the color for New York session on the chart, which I have disabled right now. And you can see how it fits your pairs and if there are setups during New York. I personally have not done that. And I only take one trade a day. That's it on each pair, max. And then I'm out. And which is also the next rule. Trade only one full move per pair per day, if available, then walk away. Don't overtrade. Between four pairs, if you get one or two good entries, you make good money for the day. That's all you need. Don't be greedy. Don't start thinking, oh, I can trade it up and down and left and right. No, just do up to one full move per pair. And I explain what a full move is in a second. And if that is done, turn it off, walk away, do whatever you need, go back to bed, make breakfast, watch TV, whatever you do. Do not go back to the charge until the next day, 1 hour before London session. Do not get greedy. There's plenty of money to be made in that time window. And if you compound that over a month, trust me, again, I made almost 15% by cutting my trades when I was up over 1% most of the time. And there was plenty of room left for the pair to move, and I still make good money. So don't be greedy. Like I said, up to one full move per pair per day, that's it. Once you have a good trade on that and you're happy, walk away. Come back the next day. We only risk 0.25% per entry. Now we take usually one entry. Sometimes you get a second entry. And I explain that when I go over the template. I always use a fixed stop loss. That's obvious. I had to put it in there for myself to remind myself because every time I don't, it goes against me and I lose a lot more than I should. So I have to remind myself, use a fixed stop loss. That's it. If it gets hit, it's not a big deal. Actually, on that day when I made 3,200 on my account, I did not follow my rules, and I took an entry here, and I got stopped out. So, and I was in 2 trades. So instantly I was down $300 on a day. It's not a big deal. I made that back 10 times when I closed my trades at almost 3,300. So a stop loss hit is not the end of the world. I had to learn it the hard way. You're not always getting it right, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. We're only risking 0.25%. So don't be afraid to lose. Just use a stop loss. If it gets hit, it gets hit. You wait for your next opportunity, you get in, and that's usually it. So keep that in mind. Number 7, when we lose 4 trades in a row without a win or a profitable trade going, walk away for the day. So that equals a max loss of 1% per day. You will never lose more than 1%, and that's perfect for prop firm accounts. I mean, they have a 5% limit, but I say with a 0.25%, I can still make between 2 and 8% a day, which is plenty if you think about it, between 4 pairs. So if you lose four trades in a row right out of the get go, and you're down 1%, I call it a day, and I will come back the next day. There are certain days where the strategy doesn't work really well. I remember a day in the beginning of the year when the Ukraine war broke out, and I was in the middle of a challenge. This strategy did not work in that situation. The dollar just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. So again, when you're down 1% on a day, that's 4 losing trades in a row, you walk away. Leave it be, come back the next day. That's also a rule. It did not happen to me this time around when I was in the challenges and also trading the funded account, but it did happen to me before. So I had to put that in there as a rule to remind myself, you know what, 1% down, that's 4 losing trades, walk away, come back the next day. It's okay. You make that back the next day and then some. And then also, one of my general rules is I only take trades on candle close. And I think there was a good example on gold for that, why I do that. Just give me 1 second, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, here, there's a good example for that rule, or why that's in place. So I'll zoom in a little bit. On this particular day, we had our entry on this candle. That was the entry for the trade. And actually, let me make this even bigger. This was the entry candle. Now look, to start shooting up, shooting up, shooting up all the way to here, which is like almost at half profit target. And then it came all the way back. Now let's say you're waiting for your trade setup and you're anxious. You're like, okay, this looks good. This looks good. Okay, check mark, check mark, check mark. Getting ready to enter a trade. And then you see this candle just taking off like crazy. A lot of people, oh my God, that's the entry, that's the entry. I'm gonna miss out. I'm gonna miss out. And they take a trade here, or they might take a trade here while this candle is still going up because they're afraid to miss the trade. And then look what happens. Right before the candle closes, it comes all the way back down. So I can't stress that enough. Only enter trade when the candle closes, which will be right here. That was the actual entry for that trade. So don't stress out over it. If it happens to close up here and you think like, okay, this is way too much for stop loss, or I don't feel comfortable taking this trade, that's fine. You don't have to. Then just leave it be and look for another trade. Again, you don't have to take a trade every day. If there is no setup that you feel comfortable with, that's okay. Just leave it be. It happens. There are days like that. I had days like that. So again, only take trades on candle close for that very reason. Because you would, let's say you FOMO in up here, and then it comes all the way back, you would be in drawdown of 40 pips right there. And you would kick yourself for doing that. So wait for candle close, then make a decision. If the candle really closes up here and you think like, okay, this is just too much, that's fine, let it be. But if it comes all the way back down, you're going to be happy that you did that. You enter down here and then off you go. So that's why I have that rule in there. Okay. Entry rules. Now we're getting to the interesting part. All entry rules and conditions must be met, including the general rules with timing, trading session, everything. So the first condition is we have this short-term green band. We have that middle of the road term purple or magenta band, and then we have the long-term gray band. Just so you get an idea here. Okay, so the green band needs to cross outside of the purple band. And that needs to be happening while price is touching the buy or sell zone. So let me zoom out. The buy and sell zone. You see this gray band here, and you see those dotted lines in the gray band. This is the buy zone. This is the sell zone. Ideally, you want to see price coming out of that zone, like in this case, which it was not when it happened, because this band actually is repainting, so to speak. It's recalculating. I call it recalculating. But it was touching the buy zone at that point. I remember that because I took that trade. So it might not always come out of the band, but if price did touch that dotted line of the buy zone, it is a valid trade. If it did not, it is not a valid trade. And sometimes they work out and you miss it, but that's okay. You're going to have plenty of trade opportunities with this template. Again, so price needs to come out, the green band needs to come out of the purple band, like right here in this place. So that's the first condition. And while it does that, as it comes out, I want price to be at least touching the dotted line of the buy zone, or better, come out of that buy zone. If it comes out, it's even better. So that's the first thing I'm looking for. And I'm starting trading here. So the first thing I see is this. Okay, now I'm paying attention. That's my first condition right there. The second condition is wait for a white arrow in our buy direction. So not the sell, but the buy. So we get the first white arrow here. However, you can see that this is still bearish, that indicator, as well as the second one, third one, as well as the first one. It's bearish. So we cannot enter on that candle. Once we get a white arrow, we need all the bottom indicators to fully agree. So that's your first hint that a trade setup is coming. So you cannot enter here. Everything needs to agree. So once you have that, that's another condition. Then, when white arrow appears, check bottom indicators for confirmation. If you don't have the confirmation, wait for confirmation if they don't agree yet. So we get the white arrow. So now we have to wait until all the bottom indicators show green for buy. And that's as simple as it is. So we wait, we wait, we wait, we wait, we wait, we wait. And actually, here was the first time that they all agreed. This indicator and the second and the third indicator tend to print one bar back later on. But that's okay. It's fine. So the actual entry was here on this candle, which was that spike candle. I remember that very vividly. And then we take the trade, one position, stop loss goes underneath the support dots, and then off you go. And then we also check for the C indicator, which we already had here. This is this indicator here that has already printed. And we check for the support resistance dots, which we already have here. That's another must-have. And so all the conditions are on fulfilled on this candle. So now we're getting to the entry. The trade entry. Enter one position, stop loss underneath, above support resistance dots. So one position right here on this candle, and the stop loss goes right underneath those support dots. I personally like to drag it a little bit further down, not right underneath. You kind of like open yourself up for stop humps if you do that. So just, like one arrow length away from the support dots. That's where I usually put it. And you risk 25%, not 25, a 1/4% of your account balance. That's your risk. Now, optionally, and I put this in the training plan as well, you can use 0.01 lots per 1,000 account balance. So when we do that, which currently I'm actually a little bit down on the account, so I'm at 48,800. So I set my lot size to 0.48 because I have 48,000. That's the trade size that I'm using. I'm not calculating a 1/4%. And sometimes it's a little bit more than a 1/4% depending on the stop loss distance. And also we have different pairs, like gold usually has a higher pip count on the stop loss, but then Euro USD has a lower pip count on the stop loss, as well as GBP USD. And GBP AUD is like middle of the road. So from my experience, if you do trade those four pairs, you can get away with calculating the lot size just by account balance and using 0.01 per 1,000 account balance, which with 48,000 is 0.48. That's where I've set it to. And it will equal out to right around a 1/4%. Sometimes it might be a little higher, sometimes it might be a little lower, but overall it equals out. So I don't have to use a calculator and okay, I have 15 pip stop loss and what's my risk, okay, and 1/4%. So I don't calculate my. You can and you should, if that's something you want to do, just use a 1/4%. That's fine. I just use 0.01 per account size, and that works out to be roughly a 1/4% between all of the pairs that I'm trading. Like I said, it fluctuates a little bit, but that's easier for me to calculate, and that's what I use, and it works for me. Okay, so we got that. And then also, that's an additional entry rule. If your entry is inside the green band, then we set a second pending order at the green band. Same stop loss, same lot size. Okay, let me explain what I mean here. So in this case, it actually did work out. Again, keep in mind those bands shift as price moves. So when I did actually enter here, the green band was right around here at that level. Let me put a line here. And I do remember that. So the green band was actually at this level. It shifted up as price went up. So looking back, the green band is up here. But at the time of entry, the green band was actually down here. So we took an entry, we put our stop loss underneath here, and the entry was in the green band. So when it happened, I put a second pending order right on that green band with the same stop loss. And I actually got filled on that one as well. So now I have two positions. And I'm writing two positions with an average of in between, because I use the same lot size, up. It doesn't always happen, but it happens sometimes. What that does is, well, first of all, it gives you a more trade size. And second of all, it makes it easier to manage the trade, which we're coming now to. Trade management. Once price hits the middle line of the gray band, close half of your positions. and move stop loss to break even. So let me explain. The gray band has a middle line. It's this line right here. It's the middle line. Whenever price hits here, we close half of our position and set the stop loss to break even. That's the break even point, and we take half profit. And there's also reasoning for that. And I can show you that reasoning from Friday. That was a pretty good example for the reason. So on Friday, this is also gold. Here's our Tokyo session. Price comes out, comes into the sell zone. You can see that here. So now we wait. The first thing we wait for when that happens, we get support dots. That's a good indication. There's also a cycle indicator that I put in there. That's not reliable, though. It repaints like crazy, but it's a good indication to see that as well. There's a little red dot, and it has also here. That's the other side of it. Sometimes it comes in late, whatever. So that's why I didn't make it part of my rules, but it's nice to see that. So we see that. We see the C indicator already printing. So all we're waiting for is the white arrow. The white arrow comes in right here. And then as the white arrow comes in, you can see that every indicator on the bottom already agrees. So that's good. So we take an entry here, and we set our stop loss up here. That was the entry. And then I set a pending order at the green band, which was up here at the time. It did not bend down, it was going straight. So I get filled here again. So I have two orders now with the same stop loss, the same size. Do not recalculate your risk to a 1/4%. Because if it is a losing trade and you're going for a stop on, you don't lose a 0.5%. You lose like a 1/4.5, so to speak. That's why I don't increase my trade size when I take a second position. But it's a nice addition if you get a trade like that. So, and it goes in your favor, that is. So now we have two positions running, and price starts to make its way down. It finally hits our middle line here. And now I have two positions, so it's easy to close out just one of them. I just close out one of the positions. Now, if I only have one position, then I would have to go into the profit on the bottom in the terminal, double click it, half of the position size, and then close half of that out. It's a lengthier process. So it's kind of nice also if it goes in your favor when you have two positions to make that easier. Yeah, so we hit the middle line here. We close out one of our two positions that we are running, and we set our stop loss to break even. And I like to close out the lower one. So this is the one we're closing out. The higher one is the one we keep running. So this one we do not close, but we set our stop loss to break even. And then see what happens. Price does not make it to profit target, which is obviously the sell zone, if you have not guessed it by now. And it turns around, comes back up, and stops you out, which is fine. So now you have basically a half move that you may profit on. A full move is if it actually, like this one, hits the sell zone. That's what I consider a full move. Sometimes you only get half moves. Okay, let's check here. Yeah, close second half of your position. Earliest when price hits the outside. Okay, so for the second position or the other half of your position, the earliest you close it is when it hits this band. So this is not a done trade here yet. It's still going to come down here and hit that band. So that's profit target 2, so to speak. Your earliest profit target. Now, when it does hit the band, what you can do is you can take a look at this indicator here, the bottom one. If this indicator still shows green, you can, if you're willing to, ride this trade all the way out. So you wouldn't close here. Here it starts to turn purple, but now the second bottom indicator is green, so you wait for that one. And now they're both turning purple, so to speak, or red, bearish. So you close out the trade somewhere here. Because sometimes they keep going. I think in this case, the first time it hit this outside band was here. Because that band shifts up as price goes up as well, just like the smaller time frame bands. But then on the other hand, if you close it out here, that's still 115 pips. So if you feel like, okay, it hit the upper band, I'm closing my trade, that's perfectly fine. And I do that all the time, to be honest with you. I've never let it run overnight and then close it the next day. If my trade goes in profit and it hits that, I'm out. So keep that in mind. But you can ride it all the way up if you feel like it. Sometimes it just keep going. That happened to me last week. I was in a trade and I was like, all right, I hit the other side, but everything down here is still green. Let me just wait for the first indication that there's weakness. And that thing just ran and ran and ran way past that band. So keep that in mind. But only do that if you're still focused, if you're still not tired, if you are in the mood to do that. There's no shame in taking profit when price hits the other side of the band, depending on which trade direction you go. Yeah, that's also another rule that I put in. If your second position is still running at the end of London session, which is usually the time when I latest walk away from the chart. Usually I'm done within a couple of hours, but it happens that I get a slow poke. I call them slow poke move, where they're just slowly crawling their way up or down, whichever direction you go. So it does happen that the trade is still open, or at least the second position is still running when London session closes. In that case, make sure your stop loss is at break even, and then set the profit target at the outside gray band and walk away. So let me explain this. Okay, let's say this was the situation in that trade that day, which it was not. Like I said, the gray band was actually hit right here. I remember that, and I would have been happy with that hitting here. But let's say that was the situation. You're in this trade, and the trade slowly crawls up, and you get your middle line hit. You close out half of your position. You set your stop loss to break even down here. Okay, and then London session is over. Right here. So in this case, double check that your stop loss is in break even down here. And then we set the profit target wherever that gray band is at that point, which is right here. Let me get this down. So this is the outside band of the gray band. So we set the profit target wherever that gray band is in that point in time, and then we walk away. So we cannot lose on the trade. And if the trade is still running the next day, which it actually is, as you can see when you come to the chart, and it still hasn't hit profit target. But look, you get to the charts right around here, and what do you see? You see that the last bigger support was down here. We got a white arrow, so this thing is still going. Then you can manually manage it again and close out when it hits here. So now you caught the whole move from down here all the way to up here and would close out here. So now we're talking 200, almost 300 pips in one day. And just for perspective, did we have two positions here? No, there was only one position. Anyway, so let's say 290 pips, and we only had one position, which is 0.48, so for 480 per pip. That trade alone would be almost $1,400 if you follow the rules. Sometimes, or most of the times, when you get to the chart, that trade actually closed out because it did hit wherever the band was at that point. In this case, this thing just kept running, and You come back to the chart right around here. You see that, okay, the last bigger support was down here. We're still in the green. By the time you get to the chart, you can see those, both of them on the bottom are long-term indicators of full-on green. We had the last white arrow that we had was going up, and it is moving up at that time. When you get to the chart, well, just wait until it hits the band. It hits the band here. So now you close your trade. And since this is a good indication that it might be reversing because we are outside the sell zone, you can take the sell right here, which is roughly an hour later. So I hope that makes sense. Just checking on you guys here. Okay. Let me see what else we have in here. So yeah, make sure your stop loss is at break even, and then set the profit target at the outside gray band and walk away. If the trade is still running when we get back to the chart, the next session, keep managing the trade. Let me just edit this real quick. Forgot a word in here. Okay, that looks good. Keep managing the trade. And then also, lastly, important, if you get a complete reversed entry signal before reaching the middle line, and I mean complete all entry rules confirmed, we do close out the trade and go the other way immediately. And let me explain. So with price and London session opening, there's 4 different scenarios that I experienced. Just get, okay, this is a little too small. Give me a second. Actually, you know what? I can do it in Paint. I don't need this fancy schmancy program here. There we go. Let's use this one. This is easier. So let's say this is our band. I can hardly see the cursor here. Okay, apologize. I'm not a good drawing board. So this is our band, and now let's say the red line represents price candles. I'm not going to draw out candles. I'm just giving you an example. So usually we find the Asian box, let me make this blue, the Asian box somewhere in the band. Usually. It could be a little bit higher, it could be a little bit lower, but usually somewhere within the gray band, that is the long-term big band on the chart. You find the Asian box somewhere in there. And then what price tends to do, I'm just going to use black again, as soon as London session starts, there are 4 different scenarios, and let's just say price is right around here at the moment. Scenario 1 is price shoots up, hits our sell zone, and gives us an entry to sell, and then drops. So that is scenario number 1. I can't undo that. Okay. Now scenario number 2 is, I can't see my cursor on this. There it is. Okay. Scenario number 2 is price shoots down when London opens, hits our buy zone, and then shoots up the other way. That's scenario number 2. Those are my favorite ones. They're uncomplicated, easy to trade, and perfect. Those are the perfect trades. That's the ones that you can hope for. However, there's 2 other scenarios that can happen. And I did experience that, and that happens especially on unexpected news. Some economic event like the Ukraine war that night when it broke out, or huge news that came out and you forgot to check the news, and it just completely goes rampage. Also a reason why you should check the news for every day. But anyways, let's say that happens, like with Ukraine. You're not prepared for that, and you don't know. It's not even on the economic calendar. That's scenario number three. Price shoots up, gives you an entry, and here's our middle line, let's say, comes down here, and all of a sudden turns around and does that. And it just keeps going. When this happens, it's uncomfortable because you don't even reach your half profit target. But trust me when I say, when this happens, if that happens, there's a reasoning for it. Not always. So, sometimes it's just zigzags. That's fine. But if price gives us support dots here and a white arrow and all the bottom indicator agree, and we got a C indicator here. If you got all the confirmations for an entry in our entry conditions, and you have not reached the middle band, you close your trade and you take that position going the other way. Because usually when that happens, or not usually, but if that is some kind of event that is influencing that day or the charts, the market that day, this thing, if it does happen based on something unexpected, will run all day until close of the market. And you're going to make hundreds of pips. So again, if the usual scenario works out and you get your entry here and your stop loss here, and you're waiting for hitting the middle line so you can close half of the trade and set your trade to break even, and this happens, and you get every single condition fulfilled, including the white arrow, which is the most important thing, that shows you a reversed entry signal, basically. Before you hit that middle line, you close your trade, you take that trade going the other way and ride it out. So that's the only exception. And now scenario number 4, as you can imagine, is basically the same thing, just in reverse. And that was actually what happened on GBP USD when the Ukraine war broke out that night. It's scenario number 4. Okay, scenario number 4. Let's see where my cursor is. There it is. So again, let's say this is the middle line, our break-even point and half profit point. So this is exactly what happened with GBP USD, and you can go back and actually check for that. We had price coming down into the buy area, and then gave us an entry to go long, and then it was just kind of going sideways for a while, not really going anywhere. And then we start getting the support dots, and we got the arrow, and everything confirmed that we're going down. So what I did is I took half profit and set my stop loss to break even. Kind of like if it would hit the middle line. That was what I did before. Now, if that happens, I will immediately close my trade and go in the other way with my stop loss right above here. And then GBP USD just started tanking and tanking and tanking and tanking and way beyond. It was like I think it was like a 400 or 600 pip move that night. And now imagine you would miss out on that. You would kick your butt for missing out on that. That's why I integrated this trade management rule that if that scenario happens, you close your trade and you immediately open up a sell going the other way. Because if it is some kind of economic event that is unexpected, trust me, if that happens, it will run all day. This literally actually ran into the next day and was still tanking when the Ukraine war broke out. You can check that. Let's go back on your charts. And I missed out on a move, and I was pissed. That was hundreds and hundreds of pips that I missed out on. So now I made this rule that if I get a full reversed entry signal, meaning all entry conditions are met, I will close my trade and sell from there. So let's recap real quick, just to sum it all up. My keyboard. I'm sorry, I'm in a lounge position. I'm too lazy to lean forward to get my keyboard, so I'm using this one. I'm not handicapped or anything. I'm just lazy. So um, let's go back here. Okay, this is taking forever. Let me use the keyboard. Give me a sec. Okay, there we go. Um, so let's recap. 4 scenarios. Scenario 1, price comes out of the Asian box and goes up. That's almost a guarantee for a sell. And it doesn't always come out of the band. So don't get me wrong, but this is what I prefer and what I would like to see. But it is perfectly okay if it is just touching the sell zone here and not going out of the band. But scenario 1, price goes up, hits the sell zone, gives us an entry for a sell, and we write it down. Scenario number 2 is the opposite. Price comes out of the Asia box, comes down, hits our buy zone, reverses, gives us an entry signal, and we write it up. Scenario number 3 is price comes out, hits our sell zone, comes down, but then halfway to the, or even before that, before we even hit the middle line, we get a complete reverse entry signal, and then it does that. That's scenario number 3. And scenario number 4, again, price comes out here, gives us a buy entry, and then doesn't even reach the middle line and gives us a full reverse signal, and then goes the other way. Those are the 4 scenarios that I experienced. Nothing else. Well, other than sideways movement, it happens. If I get frustrated, I might just close that trade and just walk away for the day. If you just have a sideways movement all throughout London session. Okay, so, and again, this is important. I know it's like a side rule and trade management rule, but keep that in mind that if we get a complete reversed entry signal before reaching the middle line, and again, all entry rules and conditions confirmed. So all of these conditions need to be met in order to be counted as a full reversed entry signal. All of them. And if that happens before we reach the middle line, we close the trade completely and we go in the other way. It might be annoying if it's zigzagging and it happens, but that's what we do, even if we take a little bit of a hit, because you might lose out on a major move. That's usually what happens right before a major move. So keep that in mind. That's a very important rule. Okay, so let's go over it, sum it up again real quick. General rules. Follow the rules. There's no excuse. You need to follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, don't be surprised if you lose. Number 2, check for high impact news. Don't trade pairs that have high impact news during London session. Important. If the high impact news are in the New York session, by all means, go ahead and trade it during London session. But if it has high impact news during the London session, it doesn't matter if it's like late in the London session, you think, oh, I'm going to be out before that, don't trade it. Usually, traders or experienced traders stay away from the pair. There's not going to be a whole lot of movement until the news. And this strategy strives on movement and volatility. So even if it's hours out, do not trade high impact news pairs when they have news in the London session. Don't do it. Trading time, also very, very important. Do not stray from that. Only take trades between 2 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which happens to be 1 hour before London session when actually the European session opens at that point, and end of London session. That's it. Do not take trades after that. And if you are in a trade, like I said, trade management, set your stop loss to break even, set your profit target at the gray band on the other side, and walk away. That's the end for you. Walk away. Do not stay in front of the charts. You're not doing yourself and your capital a favor if you do. Trust me on that. Okay, 4, trade only one full move per pair. And I guess I discussed that. The full move was basically from one side of the band all the way through to the other side of the band. That's one full move. So that's it. If you have a half move and London session is over, well, then that's what you walk away with, a half move. And then only risk 0.25% per entry. Always use a fixed stop loss. When losing 4 trades in a row without a win, meaning we're down 1%, call it a day, walk away. And number 8, only take trades on candle close. I explained why, also very important. Entry rules, again. The first thing that I'm looking for when Asian session is over is for the green band to come out on one side or the other, which it comes out right here. So that's my first confirmation. That tells me, okay, I'm looking for a sell. Because if it comes out on the top, I'm looking for a sell going the other way. If it comes out on the bottom, I'm looking for a buy going the other way. So keep that in mind. So this is the first thing I'm waiting to see. I need to see that green band coming out. Once that happens, I pay attention, which probably happened right around here or here somewhere. When that happens, the next thing I'm waiting for is the white arrow. I don't look at anything else. I'm waiting for this white arrow. Very simple. When the white arrow happens, then I'm checking, do I have all my confirmations at that point? So we need to see the C indicator. We got that. We got the support dots. Perfect. What about the bottom indicators? They all agree right on this candle. They agree. All right, take the trade. Wherever that is, take the trade, put your stop loss up here. And then, like I said, as an additional rule, if the entry is in the green band, set a pending order on that green outside band with the same stop loss, same trading position size, and see if you get tagged in for a second order. And 50% of the times you get tagged in for a second position. And then you wait. You wait until price hits that middle band. Once it does, you close half of your trade out, and then you wait for it to hit the gray band on the other side and set your stop loss to break even. In this case, you only had a half move and a half trade on that day. That's fine. All the other 3 worked out on Friday. If you look here, this is the Euro USD in comparison. So we have our Asian box. So we're waiting for our scenario to happen. What happens? Price hits the upper band first. We come out of the purple band. Perfect. Okay, 2 conditions met. So now we wait for the white arrow. The white arrow comes in here. But our indicators do not all agree yet. Perfect example. So we wait until here, which happens to be this candle here. And we take an entry. This entry was in the band. Stop loss goes up here. This entry was in the band. So we set a pending order and we get tagged in for a second order right here. So now we have 2 positions running. And then, boom, the drop. This was a quick trade. It was less than 2 hours. So that was on Euro USD on Friday. Let's check GBP USD. Here's our Asian box. We open up as usual somewhere in the middle of the band. Okay. So we see that price starts moving up. We get indications that we have an up move. So we're expecting price to come out here and the green band to come out here and give us a sell entry. And that's exactly what happens. Price moves up, comes outside of the band. Perfect. I like to see that. Those are the best trades. We see the green band coming out of the purple band here. And we have price in the sell zone, actually above the sell zone. So next thing is I wait for the white arrow. Nothing else. I wait for the white arrow. Boom. On this candle, I get this. When this happens, and this arrow usually starts, especially with a large candle like that, starts printing already somewhere in the middle of the candle, so you have enough time to get ready. Now you check your bottom indicators when the candle closes. All agree. All is purple here. So you take your first entry here. Your stop loss goes above here. And then you take a second entry if price reaches the green band. In this case, it didn't. And that's why I always take a first entry on that candle close, no matter what. It did not reach because the green band at this time was right where the gray outside band is. and we never came back here. It just dropped like a rock. So you only have one position. In this case, when it hits the middle line, you gotta go down in the terminal, double click on the profits, change the trading lot size to half of your position, and then click on close. That way you can close half of your position and then move your stop loss to break even. And in this case, we get a full move. It goes all the way to profit target. That was GBP USD on Friday. Let's check JBP AUD. So here's our Asian box. And like I said, you can always check what's the latest direction, or where's the last white arrow when Asia opens, which is the easiest thing to do. And you see the last white arrow was here. So that already tells you we're going up. So you get to the chart here, you check, okay, we're in an up move. So in my head, what I'm expecting is price to come out here. I expect the green band to come out on the top and then give us a sell entry. Right when I see this and come to the chart, it's very easy. It's like within 1 minute, you have determined what you're expecting from that pair. So price does indeed go up, hits our sell zone, comes out of the zone here. And from that moment on, when it hits the sell zone right here, now we have both conditions met. And now we're waiting for the white arrow. Excuse me. Sorry for that. So we wait for the white arrow. The white arrow comes in here. And now I check. Bottom indicators all agree. We got our C support indicator here. We got our support dots. Everything is good. So you take an entry here. Stop loss goes above here. And then you set a second order right around here, which in this case, again, is not filled. So you get only one entry here. And then, unfortunately, the middle band is right here. But I think it was actually a little bit lower because the strong move up shifted the band. So I think the middle line was like right here, right before this turnaround, which is fine. If this happens, you don't do anything. You wait until you hit the middle band, which I think was right around here. Now you close out half of your trade. You set your stop loss to break even. And then you wait until it hits the lower gray band, which is right here. Profit target 2 smashed. Full move taken. Done. Walk away. I mean, you get a nice move up in the New York session. But again, I only trade one move and then I'm done. That's my rules that I made for myself. Because I don't want to sit, first of all, in front of the charts all day and overtrade. And second of all, you got to keep your sanity. And you need to learn to be okay with taking one good trade on one pair per day. That's it. And then walk away. Do not overtrade. Do not get greedy. Don't think, oh, I'm the king. I can do it now. I can trade this thing up and down wherever I want. Don't do it. It gets in trouble. It did get me in trouble. So don't do that. Okay. Yeah. That is pretty much it. Trading plan. Yeah, the trading plan, like I said, this is something that I just put together over the weekend. This might still change a little bit. So I can guarantee you that this is the end of all ends with the trading plan. I might have forgotten something that I remember maybe next week. But everything important is in there. And again, I cannot emphasize it enough. I said that in the beginning. Every single rule that is in the trading plan is there for a reason. I'm trading the system over 1 year now. And I had my ups and downs with the system. And I changed my trading rules over and over and over again until I came to pretty much this. This trading rules, the way they are now, allowed me to pass the 100K challenge on my Forex funds in 2 weeks and be done with it, with a 0.25% risk per trade. Keep that in mind, or roughly a 0.25%. Like I said, I used the formula that I described before, that I just use 0.01 per 1,000, and which roughly equals out between all of my pairs to a 0.25%. Sometimes it's a little higher, sometimes it's a little bit lower. It's fine, but I don't have to mess with calculating the exact lots. You can do that, like I said. If you want to do that, that's fine. Just keep in mind, if you do that, do not use another 0.25 risk calculation for your second entry with the pending order. Use the same lot size that you use for your first entry. Do not calculate a different risk, which automatically, since usually gives you a better entry, should be less risk. So it just adds like uh, 0.1, 0.15% risk to the trade. So keep that in mind. Do not change the lot size and calculate it out for the second position and put another 0.25% on there. Just use the same trading lot size that you use for the first position and call it a day. That reduces your risk a little bit. And yeah, like I said, this is exactly what I did with my 100K challenge. And within 2 weeks, I passed. Passed phase one in the first week. On actually Thursday to Friday night, I passed the phase one. I got my login credentials um, on Friday. I did take a test trade on Friday, which I lost $100 on. That was just, it's not a big deal on 100K. So the only reason I did that is because you have the 30 or 60-day verification phase, but you need 5 trading days for the verification as well. I expected to pass faster than 5 days. That's why I opened a trade on Friday and closed it right away again, just to get 1 trading day in the books. That's all I did. And then I started trading it on Monday, and by Thursday I passed the verification as well and was done. So again, within 2 weeks, 100K done. And I already got the credentials for that. And I can show you that. If, you can see that up here. This is a live account. They have demo accounts and live accounts. When you trade the challenge, you're on a demo account. When you get your funded account, you're on a live account. Not sure if that really is a live account, but at least it says live account with my Forex funds. And you can see the balance down here is 48,825. Again, I'm down a little bit because I messed up on Friday. I broke my own rules. Again, I cannot emphasize it enough. And I got stupid and I lost the whole 3,200 and then some that I made the previous day. So that's why I'm down a little bit. And I was pissed at myself all weekend, but it's okay. I made a mistake. That's also a reason why I wrote out the trading plan, and the reason why I will read that back to myself every day before I start trading, to remind myself that those rules are there for a reason. And I know they're there for a reason. Trust me, I know. I made those rules. So I'm not too worried about it. I expect to make some profits on Monday and then be in the positive again. Here's oh yeah, and here are my trade copiers. So this is a free tool from FX Blue that copies my trades over to the 100K account. And I also have a trade copier going to my own personal account, which is I named that LQDFX because that's where that's my broker for my personal account. And then you can see here's the second Traders Global Live account, and here's my 100K balance, which is now 97.6. Again, I'm not too worried about it. I expect this to go up in profit by Monday or Tuesday again. So this is my 100K account, and here's my personal account, also with trade copier. There's only 437, and that was a small challenge account that I started a while ago with $500. It's a little bit down at the moment because I did some stupid shit with it, but I now connected it to my FX trading account. My plan is to get this up to 10,000, which is a way to go. But it's doable. Once I hit 10,000 on my account, I might even add some funds from my payouts to do that, to reach the 10K. My plan is then to make this account my personal master account that I trade on, and then copy my trades to all the prop firm accounts. But I have to wait until I'm up at around 10,000 because before that it's too uh, how do I say that? It's not exact enough to calculate the lot size when you have a account that small, and then calculate the lot size up to 100K account. There could be a huge fluctuation because the trade copier basically looks at your balance and then looks at the trade that comes in and says, okay, this comes from a 50K account and the trade size is this. I have 100K in this account, so I need to double the trade size. It does that automatically so that it is a one-to-one ratio when it copies the trade over into another account. Now, when the account is very small and you go to a really big account, that calculation might be off by a good margin because the account is so small. So that's why I have to wait until this account is at least at 10,000 at 5 figures. Then the deviation is not as bad anymore. And then I can use my personal account basically as master trading account and then copy my trades from here to all the prop firm accounts. But for now, I'm using my 50K account. And that's also why I'm going to keep the 50K account separate, because I'm used to the 50,000 and the kind of amounts and stop losses and whatnot. I'm not used to more than that. So I'm going to keep that one separate from all the other accounts and keep trading on that one until I hit 10K on my personal account to help my psychology with, you know, not having to trade higher amounts, because I suck at that. Took me a long time to get used to 50K, to 50K. And I'm going to keep it at that level until I get my own account up to 10K. And then I'm actually going to switch over to the 10K account. And even on my personal account, let's say I'm trading for a while now, I put some funds in my personal account, and let's say my personal account gets over 50,000. I will take half of the account out and open a second account, private account, and connect it to the trade copier just to keep my master account low on capital and keep my psychology in check. So hopefully that happens at some point, and then I'm going to explain it again. But that's my plan going forward when it comes to connecting trade copiers and whatnot. So at some point next week, you're going to see 3 more windows down here with my Forex fund accounts. That's going to be my 300K challenge, my 100K challenge, and another 50K challenge that I do all at the same time to get up to fully funded at my Forex fund by the end of October, and as well as 2 more FTMO accounts down there. I have to wait for the money to come in from my payout in order to be able to buy those challenges. So supposedly it's at some point next week it's supposed to hit my account. As soon as that comes in, I will update you, and then we're going to start trading those other challenges together with my funded accounts at the same time, and hopefully pass. Excuse me, I need some coffee. Yeah, so hopefully by the end of October latest, because of FTMO and the stupid 10 trading days, we will be, or I will be funded $1 million. And then mid-October, when I get my next payout from my 50K account, I will also start the E8 2 different account challenges, the 250 regular challenge and also the 100K elevated challenge, to bring even more capital to the whole pool of prop firm accounts that I'm hoping to build up. And then after that, when that is done, I'm thinking about the funded trader next, but that's not a decision that I made yet. So far, I'm only decided on doing E8 next after FTMO. And then once I pass that, I will do some reevaluation, what's out there, what's going on right now, read reviews, watch hundreds of YouTube videos. That's what I usually do, and then make a decision on that. But that's my plan going forward. Okay. I think that was everything. I think. Yeah, and I know I said it like 3 or 10 times already, but if you do trade the system, do follow the rules to a T. Do not stray from it. Do not think you're better and you can do it better. Just at least while you do the prop firm challenge. If you do come up with a better idea in changing the rules, change it when you have a funded account and then lower your risk and try it out. But do not stray from it if you're in a prop firm challenge. You want to pass that thing. This is the way to pass it. Simple. Just follow the rules. They're not that hard. It's not once you understand the concept and the rules, they're not really hard to follow. Like I said, especially when you keep in mind, remember when we did the models, like 4 different scenarios that can happen. If you keep those 4 different scenarios in mind when you go into the session and you look at where's the last white arrow, where's it going? Okay, it's going up, so we're probably going to get a sell entry. So you're already expecting what's going to happen. And that's it. And just keep your 1% max risk, meaning you lose 4 trades, you walk away. That's it. Keep that in mind because some days it's just not working. It's not a perfect strategy. And you need to realize where to draw the line. And again, since we're only using a 0.25%, even if you lose 4 trades in a row, it's fine. You only lost 1%. It's not the end of the day. You're gonna make 2 to 8% the next day. Simple as that. So don't stress out over it. Use a stop loss. Don't be as stupid as I was on Friday. I did not use a stop loss. I did not follow my time rules because I got greedy. And I was like, oh, I made 3,200 yesterday. I can make 5,000 today. Or if I trade a little bit longer, maybe, no, don't get greedy. Follow the trading plan, follow the rules, get your trades in, get out, wait until the next day when it is time to trade again. Don't be as stupid as I am. You know, I could have been up 3,200 still if I wouldn't have traded any longer. And call it a weekend and go into the next week with already 2% on my account, basically, on my belt. Instead, I'm going in with a loss. So don't be as stupid as I am. All right, I'm opening myself up to questions and I'll give you answers as good as I can. So, yeah, do you have any questions? Is there anything that I need to explain a little bit better or go over it again, or were you not sure? Just let me know. Like it's okay. I know I can be rambling and go from A to C to F and back to B. So by all means, I'm not taking offense. If there's anything you want me to go over again or explain better, please just tell me. It's fine. I'm not offended or anything. Oh, okay. Just saw that Foss left already. Okay. Yeah. Is there any one of you two that is watching right now? Do you have any questions? Let me know in the comments, please. Yes or no. And like I said, don't be shy. If you have questions, you can ask me. I have no problem with that. I'll just give you guys a minute, drink some more coffee, and then if not, I'm gonna call it a day for the live session. And again, I apologize for. Hi, John Drew. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Like I said, if you have questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. Sorry, I need my coffee in the morning. Okay, good. All right. Then I'd say we call it a day. I thank you for being part of the live session. I actually had fun doing it. It's when you trade every day, you get a little bit lonely. It's a very lonely job, so it's kind of nice to interact with you guys on the channel and talk about it a little bit. Honestly, I mean, who else are you gonna talk to? Your mom gonna look at you like a boss hit you. So it's nice to have people to actually talk about it. So I enjoy that. And if you guys like that, we can do another live session next Sunday, just to recap the week. Also, don't forget I will go live going forward this week with my trading sessions. That means 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 1 hour before London session. I will go live and I will trade live, and you can watch me trade the system and you can see it for yourself how it works. And it's really relatively simple. There's no big thinking involved once you get the hang of it, and it works like a charm. Not every day, but you have to know when to walk away or when to keep trying. And that's why I set that rule with a 1% max loss per day. That's it. If I lose 4 trades in a row, I'm out. I'm coming back the next day. Obviously, this is not a day that it works, which happens. Hasn't happened in a while, but it does happen. And then I just come back the next day. It's not a big deal. You're not gonna win every day, you know. But usually, like I said, you make about average 2% on each trade that you take. So if you have four setups on all four pairs, you make 8%. So considering that you lost 1% the previous day, is that really a big deal? I mean, think about it. Just take the hit, close the charts, shut down the computer, come back the next day. It's not a big deal. When you make 4 or 5% the next day, you're not even going to think about it anymore. I say, okay, I lost 1% yesterday, but hey, you know what? I made 4% today. Perfect. And you're happy again. So there's no reason to mourn over that, or be angry, or whatever it is. Like even me on Friday, when I was stupid and lost my profits from the previous day and then some, and I was really stupid, and I was really angry and pissed at myself. But you know what? After like an hour and a half, I closed my computer. I shut down the computer. I walked away. I put a TV show on. I was lounging on the couch. And then an hour later, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you angry at yourself? Yeah, you messed up. You're an idiot. Just write out the trading plan on the weekend. Read it to yourself every day before the session if you need to, because you're a stubborn asshole. That's okay. But then follow your freaking plan and get it right the next time, and you're gonna end up making 4 to 8% the next day. It's okay. You only lost, basically, bottom line, I lost a little bit over 1% on the account. On the 100K, a little bit more. I think that's more like two something percent. But it's okay. I have a max loss of 12% that I can have, so it's not the end of the world. I just have to get it right next week and follow my plan, and then you end up making profits. So it's not that big of a deal. You need and or not you, but I cannot speak for everyone. But me, what I really the difference that made the switch in me, between being a break-even trader and being a profitable trader. That switch was when I learned how to lose and take the L and move on with it. And I'm not kidding. Everything that separated me from a break even trader, or kept me from being a profitable, profitable trader and not a break even trader anymore, the only thing that made that switch in me, and this is the truth, was learning how to take a loss. Take the L and move on and get over it. It happens. Nobody's perfect. No strategy is perfect. Get used to it. The stubborn German in me wouldn't let me lose, and I tried everything to wiggle myself out of a loss and try to get back up, and then overtrade and revenge trade and do whatever I need to do to not close the day in red. And every time I did this, every single time, without exception, I wrote myself further into it and made even a bigger loss. So that's why I have that rule in there. My max loss per day is 4 trades in a row. If I lose 4 trades in a row, I will turn off the computer and walk away and come back the next day. And usually by the next day, I recapped everything in my mind, was thinking about it and overthinking it, and come to the conclusion, you know what, it's not a big deal. It's 1%. It's not a big deal. The next day is going to be better, and you're going to make you 2, 4, 6, 8%, sometimes even more. And you're going to laugh about yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror. That is the single one thing, again, that kept me from becoming a profitable trader. Profitable trader. Jesus, I'm sorry. This is a hard word for a German guy to say. Anyway, so keep that in mind. A loss is part of the game. It happens. Any strategy, it happens. You need to get used to it. You need to learn not to deal with it, not how to deal with it, but not to deal with it. See it as what it is. It's part of the game. It will happen, and it will happen again. Just get used to it. That will make a huge difference in your approach, and also a huge difference in following your rules and just take the next trade. It's okay. Again, on I said it somewhere in the session. On Thursday, my first day with my 100K account, where I made 3,300, I lost the first two trades and I was down 300. Okay. 300 of a $100,000 account. That's a little bit over 1/4% with two trades, because one of them was Euro USD. So again, with my formula calculating the lot size, it was luckily not a full 1/4%. So I was down like a little bit over 1/4%. That's how I started the session. But then I got my trade entries again. I took the next trade without hesitation, put my stop loss in place and waited. And I even closed my trades early and I was up over 2%. It's not a big deal. Do I even think about the 300 I just lost? No. I walked away with 3,300 that day after the losses. So it's not a big deal. It's a loss. It happens. Move on. Wait for the next entry. Take that entry. Follow your trading plan. Do what you need to do, and it will eventually work out. And when it does work out, you usually make way more than what you lost before. So, just a word of advice. I really had to learn that the hard way, and I know there's a lot of traders that are struggling with that, and I guarantee you, at least with me, that was the one single thing that kept me from becoming a profitable trader. Ha, I got it right this time. That for years, I was a break-even trader for the last 2 years, and I just could not make that jump up into becoming profitable. And that was the one thing that kept me from it. Not accepting a loss, trying to dig myself out of it, trying to make it up, starting revenge trading, and I just did. I knew I was doing it, but I was still doing it. It's a weird phenomenon for me. And then finally, when I started accepting losses, I'm like, okay, it's part of the game. It's not a big deal. You've done this over and over again. And I proved to myself that it is not a big deal. And I started leaving my stop loss in place and started to walk away if I hit 1%. All of a sudden, everything turned around for me. I passed my 50K challenge. I passed my 100K challenge. Now I'm doing 850,000 for the next month. I mean, think about it. That's the one single thing that kept me from actually achieving all of that. Not accepting a loss and trying to make it better and making it worse in the process. Okay, good. Well then, yeah, John, I hope it does. Like I said, it's like all of a sudden, once I got to that level where I was like, okay, I back tested that over and over and over and over again, and I was forward trading it for over a year, and I know it works, but when it does not work, what do I really lose? Do I really need to keep that trade open and try to dig myself? No. Take the hit, put your stop loss where it needs to be, take the hit, and then wait for another entry. Because guess what? Sometimes it doesn't come. And trade just keeps running in a negative, and negative, and negative, and negative. And then you're forced to close it because you hit your stop loss limit or max drawdown limit, whatever. You don't want to be in that situation. And every time that happens, I was like, man, I wish I would have left my stop loss in place and let it just hit. And then walked away from the chart. Because the next day, guess what? I had a profitable day again. That's the one single lesson that I had to learn and force myself to learn in order to pass those challenges. And I know for a fact a lot of traders have the same problem. That's the biggest issue that most traders have. You need to let go of that. You need to accept your loss, put your stop loss in place. You're only risking 1/4%. It's not a big deal. Usually the second or even the third trade, like I said, I had 2 losses in a row on Thursday. First was a loss. Second was a loss. All of a sudden I was 300 down. But I didn't let it stop me. I was like, okay, I'm 300 down. I can be down up to 1%, so I got ways to go, no problem. I just wait for the next entry. And guess what? The third entry was the correct one. And the trade went in my favor, and I made over 2%. I didn't even think about the 300 anymore. I was up 3,300 now, and I was happy. And I closed my trade, my charts, shut down my computer, walked away, and I was smiling all day. So keep that in mind. And like I said, and with this strategy, all the rules that are in there are there for a reason. If you follow every single rule and hold yourself accountable for every single rule, you will succeed with the strategy. There's no if, whens, or buts. I proved it. I have a 50K account. I passed 100K in 2 weeks. No, not even. I can't even show you my. Let me see. The 100K account I traded by the T, by the dot. Everything I did, everything that my here. This is my phase one for the 100K, and you can see up, not much, not much, up, not much, up, done. That was my 100K challenge within, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. I was up past phase one, and then within 3 days, I passed phase two. All in all, it was exactly 2 weeks. And because I did open that one trade on my verification phase two account that same day I got my credentials, even took $100 hit. I did that just to have that trading day in the belt. I didn't mean to trade. I just wanted to have one trading day, and then within Thursday the next week, I was done. I had my 5% and passed phase two and got my 100K account. And now you can see this here. This is my actually funded account. Like I said, it is down right now. I just explained that. But you can see it's a funded live. This is not a challenge. And then this is my 50K account. Also down right now. And this was the profit split. So disregard this. This did not happen. That was just them taking the money out to send me the money. So I didn't know that they would actually affect the statistics like this, but this is my profit split. And then, of course, my stupidness on Friday. But this huge drop, that was my profit split payout. And this is, again, you can see funded live. That's it. Yeah, but what's that? Oh, here's phase two. Look at that. Yeah, that was phase two. I didn't know that was still in there. So, yeah, you can see here, phase two. Like I said, I only open a quick trade on Friday. Then we have 2 days of weekends where nothing happens. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, done. 4 days. And because I did open that trade, I had my 5 trading days on Thursday, and I got my funded account right there on Thursday. 4 days. And that was that strategy. That was the strategy that I just explained here on YouTube. That was the one that I used. And I did have losses. I can show you. That was my main point, actually. I probably should do that when I go on trading history. And like I said, this was flawless trading. There's no drawdown. It's just up, done. But if you look here, here's a loss. Here's a loss. Here's a loss. And that was it. So I took 3 L's during the verification. But even though it was a steady up. Now let me show you the, was it this one? Yeah, phase one. So you can see it. Trading history. You can see again, straight up. There was no dip. It was straight from the beginning until I reached profit target. Just straight up. There was no drawdown overall on day. But if you look on the trades, here's a loss. Here's a loss. Here's an even bigger loss. Bigger loss. Bigger loss. Bigger loss. So there's plenty of losses in there. You know, there's losses all over the place. It's part of the game. But if you stick to the rules that, okay, 4 losses in a row, I'm walking away, which Luckily, did not happen to me. Usually, the latest, the fourth one was the winning trade. But if that would happen, if I lose four trades in a row, I'm down 1%. I have no problem turning the computer off and walking away and come back the next day. There's no reason to be stupid and risk your challenge over that. It's just a day where it's not working. It happens. There might be something going on in the market. There might be some underlying reason, economical reason, whatever it is. Don't force it. If you took four L's, it's okay. It's only 1%. Come back the next day, make your 3-4%, and be happy. Simple as that. Once I learned that lesson and forced myself to follow that rule, everything fell in place. All right. Again, thanks for being here, Chandru. And I will trade live on Monday night for me. For the next London session, or 1 hour before London session, I'm going to go live. And then I will show you that strategy in action in live trades so you can see for yourself. All right. Thanks for being here, and you have a nice rest of your weekend. And I'm going to enjoy my coffee now because I deserve my coffee. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.